Alright, today's project I'll be replacing this door lock because when I moved into this house here they didn't give me a key for it, and you can see how funky it is. They just put a cover plate on the top lock, and what I'm replacing it with is a Defiant door lock system with a keypad. So this thing's pretty cool. You can set it to lock on its own if you forget to lock it. I think it's like from 10 seconds all the way up to 90 seconds. You can set it so if you close the door, you set it to 60 seconds after you close it, it'll lock for you. And that's pretty cool because if you ever forget to do it, it does it on its own. And of course you don't have to always use a key. You can use a keypad to open it. These run about 60 bucks. And it will look just like that on the outside and just like that on the inside. When you get this, everything's kind of screwed in. All these screws are garbage, all these wing nuts and stuff, so don't worry about keeping those. And here's all your hardware in this little box. Here's gives you 4 keys and a bunch of other little hardware. Here's your little switch thing, a little lock. So everything you need to install, it's right here. A lot of this stuff you don't even need to use. Like if you already have these on your door, you don't have to replace them. Sometimes you're gonna have a situation like me where you already got a specially one here that's designed. Like if you take this off and you put a little one, you're gonna have this big old, gaping hole. And of course, if you have a door that's already got holes, it's gonna be way easier than if you have to go and drill the holes and stuff. I don't know if anybody's seen these before. These are just like cover plates. It just covers up the hole on the other side. That's all it does. If you got any holes like that and you don't have a top lock and you don't want the wind coming through, it's when they buy these things. Alright, so there's my hole. This thing just barely fits. You can see it's a little bit wider here than a normal lock would be. But luckily I think I'll be able to fit it in there without having to trim this piece here. Alright, so I'm going to take this piece here and make sure it says up. See right there, it says up. Okay, you want to have that one pointing up once you put it in. You can't get this backwards. And then you're going to take 2 of the screws that come with it. That one's a CC screw. Alright, next step after installing this piece is you want to do the keypad. Here's the keypad. And it comes to you with a mounting plate inside. According to the directions, if you have a 1.5 inch bore hole from here to here, 1.5 inches, you have to remove this mounting plate because it won't fit. It'll be easier if I just take this gasket off and take this out. Okay, so this is what it's talking about. This doesn't fit through the hole. See that? The hole's just too small. So if you don't remove this, you'll have a huge gap in your faceplate on the front, which means water will run in there and it just won't seal properly. So you got to remove this one for my particular door because it's 1.5 inch bore hole. Then you install this gasket back on like that. Okay, and then we'll go and fish this wire right up under the So go ahead and fish this wire up under there. Just like that. And then you're going to take that metal pull and shove it. I'm trying to get this on video so you can see this little pin inside. Put it into the little slot. Okay. That's what I'm talking about, the little slot there. This pin in the middle. And then just pull your cord out some. And then we'll go to the next part. As you can see now, it's nice and flush. Before I tried to mount that with that mounting plate and it was sticking out like 1/4 inch. You don't want that. Alright, next step, you want to take your there's a mounting plate, another one inside the kit, and it looks like this. It'll say on it against the door, so it goes this way, and then it'll tell you, okay, this is for your cable and this side has to go up. So grab your cable, put it in through this hole, And then you're going to take your AA screws. It's the only screws in the package that are black, and they're pretty long. Okay, so those go into and make sure you look on the other side on the keypad and make sure it's straight. You don't want it coming out too crooked. You want it somewhat tight because you want that seal on the other side to be watertight. In my case, this never even gets water, this door, so it's not that important. But you don't want that plate to move around either. Pretty easy. There's little tabs here. There's one here, one on the other side, and then this cover comes off. So this, I just push the tab in with the screwdriver, and it should be able to come right out. Okay, just like that. And that's where the batteries go as well, right there, for AA batteries. And also these screws inside, I don't think you need those. Next step, we're going to install this piece. You can see there's the connector here for that wire, and you have a little slot here for this pin. So I'm going to go and install this cable first. Alright, it's installed, and then you just tuck it in here on the side here, like that. And we're just going to put it in, just like that. So I got a really tight fit. I'm almost hitting the molding, but I think we'll be okay. And then you're going to put some screws to keep this down right here, these two holes here. Also make sure this is the way it is up and down and not left to right. And then you want to use the BB screws. In the manual say these are BB. They're just threads all the way to the end to mount to that plate. Alright, quick note. If you have a very old door, you're probably going to have an issue with a gap at the top of the door here, of the door coming down, and a solution for that is put new bolts in the hinges. Sometimes those bolt hinges are really loose. Take them out, get longer ones, and go a little farther. I didn't do that because this is a double door. I don't really use this door. What I did, just for the time being, until I can have until later, until I want to actually I'm going to refurbish these doors later on. So until I do that, what I did is I shoved the shim. Get these shims at the store, right? And I took a couple of these and I put it down here at the bottom, hit them in until the door was about high, at the height it needed, and that solved the solution for now. So now when I close the door, everything lines up. Before it wouldn't line up. Okay, right here you can see this was really low. Now I raised it up so it's about where it should be, and that's because the door was sagging. So anyways, back to the next step of this video. Next step is you're going to take the bottom latch piece, this piece right here, and you're going to screw it in. So I already did that. Right, I have a 2 3/8 hole. The center of the hole is 2 3/8 inches out from this piece of wood here. Some people will have 2 3/4. So there's two different slots for that. I'm going to use the 2 3/8. Alright, so next thing to do is you got to measure for this bottom piece here, because this has got to go through the door. And what you could do is you could put this up on there like this, and then kind of eyeball it. You got to be really careful. If you get this wrong, it'll be crooked or it won't fit. And then you take your pencil. I just barely have it in there, just a little bit, not too far. I'm going to try to straighten it where I think it should be, and then you make a little mark down here. Okay. Or you can use the template they give you and try to line up the circle with it, which is kind of hard in this one because the hole is a lot bigger than what it should be. So I gotta kind of eyeball where the center piece is. here and then put a hole. So my hole is almost on the other hole that I did, so I'm pretty close. Hopefully I'm dead on. Alright, next take a 3/8 inch drill bit right here, and that's what the instruction says to use. So we got our mark. Okay. And we're going to drill and hope for the best. Hope we got it in the right spot, huh? Alright. Make sure to see if it fits. And it does, thankfully, thank God. Because if you mess that up. And it looks nice and straight. Alright, next you're going to take the included bolt in the instructions. It's EE. This is EE bolt, and you're going to want to use the washer. You're going to put it in there to find. And let me make sure it's straight on the other side. That looks good. Turn it down. Alright, now I'm going to put this on. Because of the fact that this door has such damage to it because of so many door locks they use over the years, I'm going to end up using this. This was an original piece that they had on an old lock, and the reason I'm going to use this is because it covers up the hole. Later on I'm going to go and try to see if I can find the same color. That way it doesn't look gold and nickel. I believe this color is a nickel color. Let me see what the box says. Yeah, it says satin nickel, so I'll have to find some spray paint, sand this this thing, and spray it with the satin nickel. Great. And of course that little piece here down below is in my way, so I gotta put it on somewhat loose. Okay, now for the doorknob. This thing's not too hard to put in. Yeah, later on when I take this door off, I'll fix all this problems with the wood. That way, I don't have to use this piece. But for now, just to cover up those holes and keep the wind out, I'll leave it on. Alright, as you can see, I managed to get this thing to work together. I had to take this little clip off. This goes behind this door handle, comes with it. It just kind of lines up the screws for you, I guess. I don't know, it doesn't seem like I need it, so I'm not using it. And plus, it's hard to get this piece on because of that plastic being in the way. I'm going to try to screw it in, but not too tight, because you can see this other cap piece is in the way. It's putting pressure on it. And if I do it too tight, I don't want to dent that thing. So I'll just snug it up, just snug right there, just enough so you can pull on it. Alright, next thing to do, what's not included is batteries. You gotta get 4 AA batteries, brand new ones. Take this off. Gotta put this in. So let's put the last battery in. It beeps. Let's hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so yeah, it says that's going to figure out which way the lock is, because you can put this lock either way. When you first start it up, it wants to know if you're going left or if it's going right. So now it knows. Alright, let me tell you guys how to set the code. Originally from the factory, this is going to have the master code is going to be 123456. To reset that, all you have to do is press and hold the set button, which is in here. Then release it. Enter the current master code, which is 123456 from the factory, and then enter and that lock button. Press 10, lock again, and then you enter your code, which I'm not going to let you guys see it. Alright. Okay, now it worked. It lit up red and then it stopped. So now I'm going to test it. Let me pretend like it's locked and then try it again. And there you have it, it's working. So from the factory also, this is not going to lock by itself, so once you close your door, it's never going to lock on you. You have to program it, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But first off, let me show you how to add a code. So we know how to do the master code. Let's add just another code. You can add up to 10 customized users codes for 10 different people if you wanted to. So the way you do it, according to the manual, you're going to press and hold the set button until the unit beeps, then release the set button. And then you're going to enter your master code. Press the lock button, and then you're going to hit 20, and then the lock button again, and then you're going to put whatever you want your code to be, and then the lock button again. You see it's doing the lighting up red again, and then it shuts off. That lets you know it's done right. So now I should be able to do this. Let's see. I trust that I can do this now. Let's see. I'm locked out. Somebody help! It doesn't work. The code doesn't work. Just joking. The code does work. But yeah, that's how you set the user codes. You can do that to 10 different codes. I'm just going to do one for now. But yeah, let's get to the part where you can get it to lock when you close the door. Let's get to that. Alright, let's set this to auto lock because it's disabled by default. So to do that, you're going to hold the set button again until it beeps. Then release it. Enter your master code. So the master code is pretty important. And hit the lock button. And then you're going to push 80. And then the lock button. And then you're going to push 1 for on and 0 for turn off. So I'm going to hit 1 and then hit the lock button. Okay, now it's flashing green at me. Alright, there we go. Now this option only gives you 10 seconds. So once I put my code in, you have 10 seconds after you put your code in, and this will lock. So watch, it'll count 10 seconds and it will open up. That's by default. See? Alright, so if you don't want it to be only for 10 seconds, you want to customize your delay timer from when it locks. This is how you do it. Okay, you're going to hold the set button until it beeps. The code again. Put your master code in. hit your lock button, and then 70 lock. Put 10 seconds if you want 10 seconds, 90 seconds, up to 99 seconds. So I'm going to do 6 and then power the lock button. And there we have it. And here it is on the other side. Still need to paint the door. Again, this is a very old door. This is a very old door, so this whole thing needs to be stripped. You can see it's counting. It's counting to 60 seconds and it's going to close. There's the side view, the locks, new locks. I left the original plates on here because these ones are thicker and they were already in place, and no real need to replace those. Plus, if I did, I would have had to fix all this other areas that have been notched out. Pretty nice looking door. So it doesn't know that it's not closed, so it locks even if it's open. So one thing to note when you have it auto lock. No big deal though. If you're gonna leave the door open for a long time, what I do is I just leave it like that with the thing already out.